I know there was an interesting topic that we wanted to get to. I think you have a little bit more idea on it. So the Karen Civil thing, my doppelganger, Joyner Lucas, was shitting on her a week ago. So let the people know exactly the backstory behind that and like all the other shit that we found out over the last couple of days.
Yeah. So I actually listened to the audio of them going back and forth, but
it was on Clubhouse, right?
Yeah, on Clubhouse. It's weird that Clubhouse has become the like Negro venting app where all these rappers are just like fuck you back.
Yeah.
But yeah, they went at each other. Well, it's mainly Joyner Lucas who kind of stirred all this up because he claims that she owes him $60,000, or at least irresponsibly spent it in a way where she basically owes him.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So he went down went through the whole situation about how his son was about to be born, and this was like his last $60,000 that he was putting into his career, and his boy who like knew Karen Civil or of her was like, this is a good investment. He obviously saw the pictures of her hanging out with Nipsey and stuff, and Nipsey's a legend now, and obviously if you see somebody working alongside him and seeing what he accomplished, you'll probably invest your last dollar in that person who was able to help them accomplish that. So he did that, and his main frustration was that she, I guess, allegedly spent the funds on things that Joyner Lucas's team was already doing, like certain radio promotions, maybe certain shows or blog sites or something. And he basically was like, there's nothing to show for all the money I spent. Like, where's the blog post? Where's the radio plays? Where's this and that?
Yeah.
And her defense was, hey, like, one, the money didn't all go to me. Like, this money gets paid towards all sorts of people who are responsible for managing these things. And two, like, none of it is essentially guaranteed, and it takes time. And just because, you're pitching to this site or whatever, or this radio station, doesn't mean you're guaranteed a play or a look. And that's kind of where the conversation left off, is at least what was posted online from what I saw. But now a lot of other artists are seeing this as an opportunity to vent and express their frustrations working with her, and basically being like, yo, you never put me on like a Nipsey or whatever. You were dodging my calls and not doing this and not doing that. So it's interesting to see her quote unquote get canceled by all these celebrities all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't think it's everyone, because I saw like Freddie Gibbs and a few people didn't come to her defense probably the way she wanted, like saying like, no, that's wrong. They kind of say, well, she never did me like that, and I'm happy with my relationship with her. The one about like the Haitian, like it was like a giving back to Haiti kind of thing, where she promised them $41K, and apparently all she did was do like the photo ops. But then when came time to give the money, she never gave the money, even though she has a picture with like a fake check of her handing it over. I was just like,
wow,
bro, I know, clouding for likes, but this seems a little bit aggressive. But yeah, man, but I feel like from everything you said and the little research I saw, it seems like obviously there's two rights to every story, like two sides to everything. But it just seems like some of these guys like wanted more, and because it wasn't happening immediately, we're like, well, fuck you, bitch. Like, you ruined my, like, you try to steal my money. It's like, bro, none of this is a guarantee. The same thing to your point about ads on Facebook or whatever. Like, us, when we pay for marketing on this, like, just because we're putting money into marketing doesn't mean we're gonna get the return we want. At some point, a lot of luck is played into this. So everything I've seen about her, she's just like a hip hop marketing person. So at some point, because she's rubbing shoulders with whoever, doesn't mean she has all the doors to open for you to fucking like, hey, here's your go, be a successful, artist. Like, I don't really think it works that way, bro. Like, I feel there's artists on Rock Nation who probably see like, well, this Rock Nation artist has all these things. What about me? It's like, bro, we can only do so much. You know what I mean? Like, like at some point, the people decide what they want to listen to. Like, we'll try our best, but it's not like you signed for us and like, you're going to be a star. Like, I don't think that's ever the pitch. Like, we'll try our best to get you there. So I don't know. I honestly, over time, I honestly low-key kind of feel bad for her, because I don't know what they were really expecting.
Yeah. No, I feel bad for her now, because originally I thought it was kind of one blatantly, objectively bad situation. But now it seems like people are just complaining that their career didn't skyrocket overnight. And as someone who's barely getting back into this and like doing my own little marketing here and there, and even getting hit up by random people, I think any up and coming artist should realize music definitely isn't profitable until you're like on and or like magically know what you're doing and have like a cult like fan base. Or two, any money you do invest, you should consider it that it could be a complete loss, or at least mostly a loss, because you know, I'm not gonna name the rapper, but he posted something on his page like, yo, hit me up, I want to work with artists. And then when I DM'd him, it was clearly like an assistant or something, and they're like, all right, like $500 for a story repost. And some artists might be desperate and be like, oh fuck, it's this person with 2 million followers, so I'm gonna have 100,000 streams. But they're not even thinking about like engagement, or the fact that half the fans might not even fucking care about that post. But this artist is just like, yo, I'm gonna make a quick check, I'm not doing anything unethical. And then there's, you know, probably outlets and promo pages that are like, yo, I'll post your song on my page, and it's, you know, $100 and I have these stats and stuff. I actually did that for Ignore Me. I didn't spend that much, but I did it, and I didn't really get much out of it, but it was fine because I knew it could have been a loss. And obviously, therefore, I didn't invest thousands of dollars into something like that. So I think this is kind of a larger scale, similar situation. It's like, yo, obviously I have clout and stuff, but you're not going to have like a Billboard hit just because, you know, I know Charlemagne or some shit. This stuff is going to take time, and it might not work at all. So I think people should just kind of focus on their craft and invest in other ways, because music is so like fickle and difficult to crack.
Yeah, exactly. And dude, like, but all those things that you said you did, and like, for example, like Joyner, like the 60K could have worked, right? So that's just a risk. Like, this is literally gambling, right? Like, but you're investing in yourself, so like you're willing to, you know, go with the highs and lows, no pun intended. But like, it is what it is, right? Like, if it fucking hits, you're fucking over the moon. But if it doesn't, like, yo, I'll take that L, and I need to know, you need to be okay with the L going into it. You can't be like, yo, this whatever set amount of money is, you know, I need this to survive, right? Like, if that was Joyner Lucas' last bit of money and he had a child about to be born, like, dude, kudos to you for taking that risk, bro. But that's also a pretty fucking wild risk to take, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, ask your baby for 50K and keep 10K for you and your son. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't feel too bad about that. Again, I do think she may be a little bit sketchy. You know what I mean? Like, where there's smoke, there's fire, they say. But for the most part, bro, like, no one really had anything bad to say about her. Like, her, you know, it was just more like, why did pop? And it's like, bro, like, I don't think that's really the marketing team's fault, bro. Like, they can only do so much.
Yeah. And also, like, and I think we've seen so many instances of even artists signing contracts and not really like knowing what they're going to get out of it. I think these artists, the up and coming ones especially, need to be more proactive about getting in writing exactly what they're going to get out of these services. Because a lot of dudes are so...
dumb this shit down for me. Like, I need bullet points.
Exactly. Bullet points, whatever. And a lot of people are so eager and like desperate to get on that half the time they're just like, oh, like, you knew Nipsey? Fuck it. Take my 10 grand and make me famous too. Or, oh, the label's giving me 100,000. Fuck it. Like, as long as I got a gold chain, like, sign me up. And then before you know it, the label owns their fucking dog and house, and they're like complaining. In terms of the artists signing contracts, it reminds me of that, because a lot of them will sign deals. They won't pay attention to any of the details, ask for any of the details. They just want to get on.
Yeah.
So, and I get it. If you're coming from poverty and you're in a desperate situation, I could see why you might not feel like you have the time to be going through all the details, because at the end of the day, you're going to say yes or whatever and put all your money into that one bet. But at the same time, it's really important to know what you're getting, so that 10 years later, you're not complaining about some shitty situation that you put yourself into and then blaming the person who is simply just doing business. To Karen Civil, the 60K might have been cheap for what she was planning on doing, but obviously to you, it's like your life savings or whatever, and it didn't work out.
And that's not her problem. Like, I think he put the line about his son to garner like a reaction. But at the end of the day, bro, like in the business world, bro, that's not the other person's problem you're doing a business transaction with. Like, I feel for you as a human, but this is a fucking business deal, bro. Like, I'm gonna take this 60K and do what I can, but you need to make sure the money is okay for you to lose. And I think times it's not.
Yeah, 100%. And at the end of the day, like, the radio station and the fans don't care. Like, the sob story is probably common amongst a ton of these guys, and it's just, unless the song is good enough to make that story relatable and a smash hit, like, at the end of the day, it's not gonna move the needle and make you a millionaire overnight. So yeah, like you said, it's really not her problem at the end of the day
at all. And it's funny, dude, like, because it's funny when these guys don't read their contracts, to your point, and then they get mad about the masters. Because there was some interview floating around recently. I don't know the exact platform, but I think Birdman talking. And he was like, yo, I still make like $20 to $40 million a year based off the masters that I own. And I'm just like, Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I make 20 mil just for being a like,
yeah.
Wow. Like, that's crazy. That is crazy.
And I understand like how it can be daunting, because even for myself, I don't really understand a lot of how all that stuff works. I just know, I've just heard it so many times. You don't even have to be like an artist or making music. Like, you've already mentioned right now, the whole masters conversation and people owning publishing and stuff. Nipsey talks about it all the time. So clearly, if you're up and coming and are somewhat familiar with these outlets, you know, like, owning your music is the way you're gonna remain lucrative and be able to like make this passive income without having to perform for the rest of your life or whatever.
Yeah, 110%. Hold on. Pause this shit for 1 second though, because dude, this my mic is going in and out. So let me just fix that real quick.
Word. No. Nice.
Sweet. All right, man. So Mike is work now. So yeah. I honestly went into that conversation when we started doing research like over the weekend. I was like, yo, like, this Karen Civil person has to be the devil. Like, how dare she? But like, after reading this shit, bro, I honestly, I don't feel bad for I feel bad for her if I feel bad for anyone. Like, I just feel like, I know she's gonna get canceled, but again, when you're the marketing person and at times you have to be the face of artists, she's probably gonna lose a lot of business because again, no one really reads this shit unless you're like us or something. So now people are like, oh, you're Karen Civil, you fucked over Joyner Lucas, I love that guy, fuck you. And it's just like, I don't really think that's fair, but again, that's just the fucking world we live in right now.
Yeah. And even being in somewhat in that field of advertising, like, there's a lot of clients that we've worked with and they have these expectations and goals, and we try to make it happen, but sometimes it just doesn't work. And it could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe the product sucks. Not saying that Joyner or any of these other guys sucks, because clearly he doesn't, but sometimes it's just not the right time and place or strategy or whatever, and something else has to be done for you to pop off. And clearly Joyner figured it out, but some people just
clearly don't. It worked. So that's another point to it. It was odd for this to come out after he's already so big. I'm like, bro, like, why are we really sweating 60K? Like, is it just a principle to you? Or do you generally think this person tried to fuck you over? Because for 60K, for someone who seems to be blowing that like on a video, you know what I mean? Like in an hour, you know, like why is this even coming up? That was odd to me.
I think it's probably because I think during the phone call she asked, or someone in the clubhouse room asked if he wanted the 60K back. And he didn't say yes. I don't even know if he addressed it, but I think it's more so like the trauma of him maybe reliving nights with his son or by himself waiting for his son to be born, kind of thing. Like, oh fuck, like hopping from couch to couch, like, am I going to survive? And then I guess if you're holding a grudge for that long, you could be worth 500 million, but still be like, damn, when I was at my lowest point, like, this person was preventing me from living in peace. So I could see how he'd be that passionate about it still, even though he's a straight up millionaire right now. But at the same time, he admitted himself that emotion, he was kind of yelling during the call because he was just emotional thinking about those situations. But it sounds like she did everything she was supposed to do and it just didn't work out.
All right. Yeah. So back to my point. Yeah. To our point earlier, I think it's because 60K to him really may have been the world, and it's just personal for him. So again, I get it, but just deep diving into all the information, it seems really hard to try to hold her against this and cancel her career without